影さん、どうですか？
そうやな。
でも
わしの眉間にしわ寄ってるじゃろ。それに鼻もピクピクしとる。いやー、怒ったよ。わし怒ったな。
嘘です。
ありゃ、ユミさんが怒ってしまった。これじゃあべこべやね。あはははは。
もうそんな真顔で笑ったふりはしない。
すまんの。いい評価、あんがとさん。
未来、どうしたの？パソコン眺めてに。はるか様、今ヘビ。あら、うちの私、面と向かって人と話すのにネットならそんなに緊張しないし、ヘビ女にも結構同じ趣味の友達になる。なるほどなるほど。それパソコンちょっと貸してね。はるか。何を書きこ。今すぐ勝負するやつはいないか。この腰抜けども、私の首を刈ってみろって書き込んだわ。ほら、もうと未来ちゃん。ちょっと待ってよ、みんな。これで友達いっぱいできるわね。よかった。もう未来開始。あら、ダメじゃない未来。私の首を借りに来るお友達。あら、そう。ごめんね未来。私ははるか様の方。さすが私でしょ。 辛い時こそ下を見ろ。あなたお金持ちなんですの？
え？
ああ、金持ちだ。しかも筋金入りのお嬢様様だ。
ちょっと桂木さん、
いいだろ、本当のことだし。
でもよろしいのですか？お嬢様が大食い大会などという下品な庶民の催し物に参加なされて。
イカルガは忍耐力を試すドッキリの遊びで一番早くブチ切れてな。その罰ゲームでここに参加させたってわけだ。
My first opponent is a fellow in a white school uniform. He looks unhealthy. He looks like he's barely seen the sun. The name's Murasami. I can tell you're scared, little lady. There's nothing you can do, sorry to say, but I'm a pro. You can back out now and only suffer a little nick to your pride. But a very strange person, best to ignore him. No retort, huh? I refuse to engage him, sitting calmly in my chair and waiting for the start of the match. But something seems amiss. We keep waiting, but the food isn't being brought out. I look backstage and see the chairman rushing around. There must be indeed something wrong. A bit longer, they bring out a heaping mountain of cabbage cores. The chairman bows his head repeatedly and begins to speak. He tells us the first round's challenge was apparently to eat a whole cabbage, but all that are left are the cores. Cabbage cores? I'm not a rabbit. Miyazaki makes no attempt to hide his disdain. His attitude is grating, no question. Cabbage cores are high quality ingredients. I love cabbage cores, man. I used to eat that crap all the time as a kid. They are filling and have a delightful texture. The idea, and they almost have like a spiciness to them that's really nice. The idea of eating only leaves of a cabbage always struck me as ignorant. The leaves are of course delicious, but the core deserves no less respect. If you don't like it, why abstain from the competition? Abstain? If I did that, this would be as far as I go. 8th place? Do I even realize what that would mean, little lady? No. I didn't understand what's going on, but Ms. Murray's eyes have grown thoroughly bloodshot. I'll be a rabbit. Just call me Bunny Boy. With both parties raring to go, the match begins. I bite into my first core of the plate. That heavy texture, that sweet earthy aroma. Its unique sweetness fills my mouth. It's splendid. The cabbage cores are food fitting for a king. Lost in ecstasy, I tap on my plate. Before I know it, I've eaten them all. That was delicious. I offer my profound thanks to the earth for its blessing, and the chairman raises my hand. I look to my side to see Mr. Murray has fainted, his mouth stuffed to the lips with cores. He seems to have passed out from oxygen deprivation. The first round has been no challenge at all. Brother. The little princess rushes over to Murray Messi's side. Brother? Those two are siblings? I don't see much of a resemblance, but come to think of it, they do both give the impression of being rich and spoiled. The princess drops to her knees at Murray's side, extending a hand to help stabilize him. Murasami viciously slaps her hand away. Don't touch me, brother. No one but my real family may lay a hand on me. After that, the sharp remark, she dashes out of sight. So her big brother has no love for her? She clenches her lips and returns to the B block stage. Well, let's see the princess eat, shall we? I decided to watch her match. Go, Kagura. With a friend's encouragement, the princess stuffs her face full of cabbage cores. Keep it up, you can do it now. She eats delicately, but not without speed. Bite by bite, she pulls ahead of her opponent. As she finishes the last course, she delicately wipes her mouth away with a napkin. Whoa, Kagura, let me reward you with a nice massage. I'm fine, thank you. With the match ended, she exchanges banter with her friend. She's very composed. However, the competition's only just begun. The real test of fortitude will be in the finals. Let's just see how well this little princess holds up. As I sit down for the semifinals, a huge shadow covers my vision. I lift my gaze to behold a woman who looks like a sumo wrestler. It's a pleasure to make your acquaintance. Sumo woman laughs scornfully and takes a seat next to me. I have a rather unpleasant feeling. And again, we sit and wait for the food to arrive, and it doesn't appear. As I grow irritated with the event planning, the flustered chairman scrambles back on stage. What seems to be the problem? With tears in his eyes, he tries to explain. Apparently, the second round of food was supposed to be popcorn, but when they opened the part of the box, it was pickled hornet larvae. Did the delivery person make a mistake, or was it possibly a prank? Regardless, for the competition, they'll have to continue to serve us pickled hornet larvae. I don't even know what that is, but that sounds awful. The sumo woman starts bellowing laughter at the extremely embarrassing servant. Hornet larvae is fine by me. I'm good to go. She gives me another fleeting glance. I'm not sure about the little pixie here, though. Want to back out while you still can? No need to worry about me. Hornet larvae are nutritious like milk of the forest. The very idea of forfeiting is ridiculous. And so they bring out a heaping mound of hornet larvae. I hear shrieks of disgust from the audience. My goodness, one shouldn't judge food before even trying it. The chairman announces the start of the match. This will decide the winner of A block. Sumo woman starts eating larvae one by one, her face twisting into a disgusted grimace. She manages to remain her composed, though. She looks very deceiving, I suppose. Looks can be very deceiving. I stick my hand on the mountain of hornet larvae and scoop them up. As if drinking water with my hands, I pour them into my mouth. The place bursts into bizarre commotion as the chairman raises my hand. That was delicious. The sumo woman's face flushes a deep red, and she leaves the stages. Damn it, this can't be. Gripe all you want, you still lost. When you're outmatched, you should back down. Now to see how B block turns out. You did it, Kagura. You're a finalist. Overjoyed, the princess friend throws arms around her. Frankly, I'm surprised. I never would have thought the princess could still make hornet larvae. I walk over to the princess and ask her a question. Do you enjoy larvae? Yes. She gives me a silent smile. My father favored them, and I've had numerous times as a child. Is that so? It's just kind of a delicacy I expect a walking endorsement of capitalism to indulge in. Just hearing her disgust me. What a vile, twisted, superficial light that must be. The thought of this little princess being so spoiled makes me want to Well, she hasn't the slightest clue what's going on in my head, so she offers me an elegant smile and extends her hand
決
to
勝
me.
ではいい勝負をしましょう
Let's make a final match a good one. I gently take her hand and shake it. Though all I want to do is crush her fingers into powder, I will take far more pleasure in rendering a crushing defeat. Yes, please. Let's go. Please go easy on me. Replying to a text message. We both step onto the stage where we find the chairman on his knees. If something else go wrong, he whimpers out an explanation, repeatedly touching his forehead to the stage. The final round was supposed to be a never-ending bowl of sobi noodles. However, the noodles have gone missing from backstage. Instead, he explains we'll be eating massive earthworms. Earthworms? The princess' previously calm face turns pale. Please bring noodles from elsewhere. At her words, the chairman shakes his head. He tells her all the sobi noodles in the area have been cleaned out for the tournament.
じゃあ
And perhaps
決勝は
we should
中止
propose
と
to
い
the
うことで
finals. Her pathetic request sends my blood boiling. You've got to be kidding me. No one can stop a tournament for this far in.
ですわよ
I'm fine with this. Worms it is. As soon as I say it, all eyes turn to
ミミズ
me.
でわんこそば
You've heard of a bottomless sobi noodle? Well, how about bottomless worm bowl? I can handle
構
it.
いませんわ
The princess is
そちらはい
speechless.
かがやらな
What
いと
do
い
you
うな
say?
ら
Will you
危険で
proceed
よ
or
ろしくて
forfeit? Forfeit? Please forfeit, princess. Even I can't handle eating earthworms. I hope she'll forfeit. I pray for it.
決する
Forfeit? Yes. I prepare to strike a triumphant pose. It is not an option. Despite her words, I can see she's sweating bullets.
それで
Alright,
こそいかが
give him hell, Kagura. Her friend Katsuguri breams with a carefree enthusiasm. The spectators go wild. This will definitely turn for the worse. Maybe I should have couldn't have called attention to myself. Is something wrong? You don't look well. Really?
そうですか
We level our eyes at each other. Her face covered in cold sweat. I suspect mine is no different. Both of us can tell no, the other is bluffing. If I remember, we'll use this. Finally, I put a bowl in front of it. Bowls down in front of us. I peek into mine, and from the soup they emerge. They're all wriggling. The worms are squirming around. Getting these thumbnails, man. Ew. No way. Absolutely not. My mind is screaming at me. And yet, before I even realize it, my fingers have picked up the chopsticks. Right. I've come too far to back down now. Prize or no prize, I'd rather die than let that princess beat me. Once I've settled myself, I bring the bowl to my lips. Thank you for this delicious meal. I concede. Huh? To my surprise, the princess has lowered her head. You win. I let out a massive sigh of relief. It's not the final that I had hoped for, but a victory is a victory. I still haven't been that nervous in a long time.
その勝利への執念一体どこから生まれてくるのですか話したところで
You wouldn't understand if I
お
told
嬢様
you.
は理解できません
And she wouldn't. Not ever. Only those who have walked through the desert of poverty, hunger, and thirst could understand. I'm going to tear this tournament down. The angry voice suddenly bursts forth. I turn to see none other than the Sumo woman, and this time she's brought a gang of friends. I see. Now I understand. Without even hearing the princess' word, I figured out as well. Most likely, Sumo wrestler caused all the problems in the tournament. She is the one who swapped out all the food to ensure that she'd win. That has to be it. The princess stepped forward in anger. I raised my hand to stop her. My anger is no less than hers. These ruffians interfered with our match. Leave this to me. Please
お
stand
嬢
back.
様はお下がりく
I
ださい
can't crush the princess today, but the sumo woman and her grunts will be fine substitutes. That was a long-ass dialogue scene. Holy crap.
それがたとえ大食いであって
Meddling in battle of any kind is a sin to be punished.
ヨミさん一人で相手にするのは無茶ですお嬢様ご心配なく
Don't worry, princess.
大食い大会のおかげ
That
で
tournament filled my stomach to the brim. Now to work it off.
食後の運動
After a meal workout? An after meal workout, you say? Very
では
well.
ここはおま
I'll leave this in your capable hands. Said, please find somewhere to hide. When I'm full, my movements become quite intense. I prefer you didn't see this.
承知しました
Understood. I'll stay out of
あり
sight.
がとうございます
Thank you very much. Now I can move freely. Man, that was probably one of the longest cutscenes.